It's believing that people and humanity are inherently good. And they crave nutritious food in their soul, just as they do in their bodies.
Ryan Reynolds has built his career on fearless humor, crossing lines most actors wouldn't dare approach. With two massively successful Deadpool films behind him, he seemed untouchable, a Hollywood darling who could do no wrong. But a single, offhand joke has thrust him into a high-stakes showdown that could undermine his ironclad grip on the character he helped popularize. Why is one wisecrack threatening Reynolds' future as Deadpool? And what does it have to do with Justin Baldoni, Disney, and Blake Lively? Behind the scenes, powerful forces are clashing in ways that could redefine Marvel's edgiest hero. Get comfortable, because this controversy goes deeper than anyone saw coming. Ryan Reynolds' humor has always been brash. Early in his career, he was often relegated to rom-coms and comedic side roles, but he emerged as a genuine A-lister thanks to his unrelenting push to get Deadpool made. Before that first film, the character was in limbo, seen as too edgy, too over-the-top for mainstream audiences. Reynolds leaked test footage, fans went wild, and the studio finally gave him the green light. The rest is box office history. Deadpool's R-rated success shattered expectations. Critics praised its witty script, savage pop culture references, and brutally self-aware style. Reynolds' comedic timing and relentless hustle turned a second-tier Marvel antihero into a franchise juggernaut. But then came Disney's acquisition of Fox. While fans cheered the merging of Marvel properties, they also wondered, would the House of Mouse clamp down on the irreverent, R-rated mayhem that made Deadpool great? For a while, Disney insisted it would let Deadpool's style remain intact. Reynolds seemed upbeat in interviews, promising the character wouldn't lose his edge. Yet whispers of a potential culture clash didn't die. Disney is family-focused, fiercely protective of its brand. Deadpool is not safe for family night. Sure enough, it wasn't long before tensions rose over one bold gag that might be a step too far. Justin Baldoni is best known for directing poignant, heartfelt films and for his role on Jane the Virgin. He's cultivated a wholesome image, one that Disney might find appealing. But everything changed when he teamed up with Blake Lively to produce the adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel, It Ends With Us. Lively has her own polished persona. She's carved out a niche as an actress with a keen sense of style and a knack for choosing roles that align with her brand. At first, it seemed like a dream collaboration. Baldoni would direct, Lively would co-produce and star, and fans of the novel were eager to see how they'd bring the story to life. But rumors suggest friction from the start. Baldoni and Lively reportedly clashed over creative decisions.
I said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's got snot coming out of my nose.
Maybe about the script's tone or the pacing. There were also rumbles about heavy studio involvement pressuring them to shape the film in a more marketable direction. Eventually, the partnership deteriorated in dramatic fashion. Legal disputes flared up, PR machines went into overdrive, and blame was traded behind the scenes. Instead of a heartwarming production, It Ends With Us became a brewing storm. Some say Baldoni felt sidelined and disrespected. Others insist Lively was pressured into directions she despised. Headlines mentioned everything from hidden agendas to corporate meddling. Then came the shocker. Disney allegedly threw its weight behind Baldoni, seeing potential in him for future projects. Suddenly, the man who had no connection to Deadpool or Reynolds was at the heart of an industry-wide power shift. The situation escalated when rumors surfaced that Reynolds slipped a pointed reference to Baldoni's dispute with Lively into the Deadpool 3 script. Deadpool is known for references to real Hollywood drama, so it seemed fitting. Yet Disney, keen on protecting its investment in Baldoni, didn't see it as fun parody. They considered it a direct poke at a rising star with whom they planned to collaborate. Insiders claim the joke wasn't just a random throwaway line. It appeared in multiple script drafts, showing Reynolds' determination to keep it. The gag allegedly mocked Baldoni's involvement in the lawsuit, implying he was at odds with Lively. While it might have sounded hilarious in typical Deadpool fashion, Disney apparently felt it painted Baldoni in a less than flattering light. Disney has weathered controversies before, but publicly mocking someone they're grooming for a major career push seemed off limits. Immediately, top executives demanded the joke be removed. According to reliable sources, Reynolds didn't appreciate being told to censor material that felt perfectly aligned with Deadpool's sharp, meta humor. That clash set off alarm bells about creative control, and possibly Reynolds' future with the franchise. Marvel wants to integrate Deadpool into the broader MCU, which is predominantly family-friendly. The trick is preserving the foul-mouthed, fourth-wall-breaking essence that fans love while fitting him alongside PG-13 heroes like Spider-Man and Captain America. Kevin Feige, Marvel's chief architect, has hinted they wouldn't muzzle Deadpool. But it's also true that Disney invests billions in maintaining a clean image. Reynolds' comedic sensibility thrives on mocking real-world controversies. That's always been part of Deadpool's charm. Yet Disney's alarm over the Baldoni joke suggests a shift. Maybe they'll permit edgy jokes, just not about individuals or situations Disney values. If that's the new rule, it raises questions. Does Deadpool remain fearless, or does he become selectively censored? Behind the scenes, there's talk that Disney provided guidelines. No direct jabs at ongoing legal matters, no slanderous references to business allies, and more caution about brand exposure. For Reynolds, who's always championed comedic freedom, this might feel like the beginning of a creative straitjacket. When Disney told Reynolds to drop the Baldoni joke, he reportedly pushed back. The entire Deadpool franchise was built on renegade humor that lampoons everything from the X-Men timeline to real celebrity scandals. Removing jokes at the behest of corporate execs could undermine the entire premise. Sources say Disney went further, issuing a stern warning about consequences. They implied Reynolds might lose influence over his own character if he continued to target Baldoni, Disney's new golden boy.
Messages, the unedited version of the text messages, they released audio recordings of Justin Baldoni talking to his family, talking to his team, saying that on the night of the It Ends With Us premiere, he was put in the basement. And again, this is the movie that
Some even believe the studio floated the idea of introducing a tamer version of Deadpool in future MCU crossovers, reducing Reynolds' comedic say. A public relations meltdown seemed imminent. Would the star behind the success of Deadpool bend to corporate demands, or would he fight to preserve the character's biting style? Could Disney risk alienating the fanbase by watering down the one superhero who's consistently delivered edgy box office hits? Blake Lively's involvement adds another layer to the drama. She's more than Reynolds' spouse, she's a force in her own right, with a curated public image and a dedicated following. Her feud with Baldoni wasn't just a private spat, it turned into a swirling legal controversy. If Reynolds decided to lampoon Baldoni's side in the dispute, it might be interpreted as him defending Lively. That angle complicates everything. Disney doesn't want to look like it's picking a fight with Lively, who has her own star power and fan backing. But if they're siding with Baldoni in his legal issues, Reynolds becomes a direct threat to that alliance. It places Marvel and Disney in an awkward position, potentially forcing them to choose between two influential Hollywood figures. For Lively, public statements have been scant. She's always known for tight-lipped responses to media storms. Still, the rumor mill suggests she's not thrilled about the tension. She understands how personal feuds can become business nightmares, especially when studios and PR teams try to shape narratives. Reynolds has a history of rebellious moves. When Fox hesitated over Deadpool, he leaked test footage that went viral, practically forcing the studio's hand. He's also known for comedic feuds with Hugh Jackman, social media jokes about his own kids, and a willingness to roast his peers. That brand of unfiltered humor turned him into a star who can galvanize audiences, but it also puts him at constant risk of angering corporate bosses. Friends say Reynolds won't accept a version of Deadpool that's stripped of its irreverence. He believes fans want unfiltered commentary, no matter how sensitive the topic. That unwavering stance made the first two Deadpool films spectacular hits, surprising even industry veterans. Now, faced with Disney's family-oriented ethos, Reynolds might see this conflict as a defining moment. Will he retain the freedom that has defined the character? If Disney stands firm, could Reynolds walk away from Deadpool? It's not impossible. He's financially secure, he's sold successful business ventures, invested in various industries, and has plenty of acting options. But giving up Deadpool would be monumental. This is the role that revived his career, allowing him to shed the image of a comedic sidekick. Some insiders suggest he'd rather fight than surrender, But Hollywood showdowns don't always end in compromise. The stakes for Marvel are tremendous. Deadpool offers a breath of fresh air, an R-rated alternative to the usual formula.
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
If Marvel tries to sanitize him, the franchise risks alienating a huge audience. On the other hand, if they permit Reynolds to run wild, it could conflict with the broader MCU brand. This balancing act grows more precarious as the cinematic universe expands. Each year, Marvel deals with growing expectations from fans who crave something new. Deadpool's success partly lies in its refusal to play by standard superhero rules. Toning him down might lead to a safer film, but fans might also see it as a betrayal of what made Deadpool special. The question is whether Marvel's big plans, like crossovers with popular heroes, are enough to persuade audiences that a slightly milder Deadpool is still worth watching. Industry watchers note that Marvel is dealing with superhero fatigue, and that comedic unpredictability can be an antidote. Films like Guardians of the Galaxy injected humor into the MCU, but nothing matches Deadpool's raw, boundary-breaking style. If Marvel suffocates that comedic edge, could it lose the character's unique draw? Why is Disney so eager to protect Justin Baldoni? Insiders point to his track record, uplifting, emotionally charged stories that appeal to wide audiences. Disney might see him as a future director of family-friendly fare, or perhaps a creative force behind more heartfelt projects. If he becomes a reliable hitmaker, protecting his reputation is crucial. The legal conflict with Lively threatens that reputation, and Deadpool mocking him could spin a private dispute into a public spectacle. The last thing Disney wants is a comedic juggernaut shining a spotlight on behind-the-scenes lawsuits. Some believe Disney sees Baldoni as a more traditional, safe bet compared to Reynolds' chaotic comedic style. If they have to choose, they might favor the new talent they're cultivating. Replacing Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool sounds unthinkable. He's practically merged with the character, even championing him in real life. But Marvel has recast roles before: War Machine, Hulk, and more. The possibility, however remote, can't be dismissed. Disney is a powerhouse that's proven it can outlast big stars if it protects its brand. Yet losing Reynolds would be a colossal gamble. Deadpool's fan base would likely revolt, seeing it as a betrayal of the spirit that made the franchise a phenomenon. Worse still, recasting Deadpool might reduce the films to generic superhero fare, no longer the quirky outlier that captured viewers' hearts. Another angle is the multiverse concept. The MCU can introduce alternate versions of characters, so theoretically, Marvel could shift Reynolds' Deadpool.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of
it's
both.
like, yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like, kind of like my outfit.
Pull aside if tensions become unbearable. But that move might cause a backlash and reduce excitement around future Deadpool appearances. While feasible, it's risky, which is why Disney might try to find a middle ground. Fans have already begun dissecting rumors. Online forums and social media are buzzing about Disney's alleged censorship, the Baldoni controversy, and how Lively factors in. Many are staunchly pro-Reynolds, praising him for defending the raw style that made Deadpool iconic. Others warn that the line he's crossing might be too personal, too wrapped up in real legal matters. The general sentiment is that Deadpool should remain brutally honest. People who love the franchise want more cameo-based roasts, more savage references to actual Hollywood mishaps. If Disney censors that, it could erode trust in both Marvel and Reynolds. But if Reynolds pushes too far and puts Disney in an impossible position, fans might also blame him for taking personal disputes public. In typical Deadpool fashion, watchers expect comedic chaos. They just don't want that chaos to derail the entire character. It's a delicate line. How much can you mock real people before you risk blowback so severe it kills the vibe? Blake Lively's silence on the matter speaks volumes. Her brand is meticulously crafted, she avoids messy public confrontations. But as Baldoni's ex-partner on a film project that went sour, she might hold vital details about the production meltdown. That meltdown apparently sparked lawsuits and tarnished reputations. Some insiders wonder if Lively secretly supports Reynolds skewering Baldoni, especially if she believes she was treated unfairly. However, she likely also grasps how dangerous it is to escalate tensions with Disney. Despite any personal grievances, she knows her husband's Deadpool role is massive. If she endorses the joke, it might intensify Disney's displeasure. At the same time, Reynolds' comedic style often includes roasts directed at his own loved ones, but always in a playful manner. This Baldoni line is different. It's an actual jab tied to a real lawsuit. That crosses into territory that might alarm a corporation as large and cautious as Disney. Lively's knowledge of Hollywood politics could urge them both to tread lightly. Hollywood legal teams often shape narratives more than the public realizes. Disney's lawyers are experts at crisis management.
Testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah, no.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like,
If there's any chance a comedic line could trigger a defamation claim or increase the spotlight on a sensitive lawsuit, they'll intervene. It's common for scripts to undergo multiple rounds of legal review, especially for a character as boundary-pushing as Deadpool. Marvel, too, has a vested interest in ensuring any jokes or references don't damage relationships with people who may join the Marvel universe down the line. If Baldoni is earmarked for major projects, mocking him in Deadpool 3 might complicate future collaborations. From Reynolds' perspective, letting legal teams dilute the comedic script goes against the entire spirit of Deadpool. But if he refuses to compromise, he risks open conflict with the largest entertainment conglomerate on Earth, a gamble that could unravel years of hard work. Media outlets and YouTubers are all over this story. Rumors, alleged script leaks, and insider quotes abound. Some speculate Reynolds is staging this drama to generate hype. Others think Disney might be orchestrating it for marketing, though that seems less likely given the lawsuit's sensitivity. In truth, the public devours controversies involving A-list stars, especially when personal and professional worlds collide. Controversy can fuel anticipation. People will line up to see how far Deadpool 3 pushes boundaries under Disney. But if negative press spins out of control, it could harm everyone involved. For now, coverage is a mixture of intrigue, concern, and excitement. It's rare for a single joke to cause such tremors, yet this demonstrates the power of combining a dynamic star, a protective studio, and very public legal disputes. The Baldoni Lively Reynolds Disney situation highlights Hollywood's delicate ecosystem. Deals are made behind closed doors, alliances shift, and every public action can ripple through a spiderweb of corporate and personal relationships. Disney invests billions in carefully built images, while stars like Reynolds relish comedic anarchy. Sometimes those forces can't coexist without friction. This scenario also raises broader questions. In an era dominated by megacorporations, can comedic expressions truly remain fearless? If even Deadpool must tiptoe around certain personalities, is authenticity lost? Or does the comedic star simply adapt, still offering fans a wild ride while sparing specific targets that corporate partners want to protect? As rumors swirl about Deadpool 3 rewrites, fans wonder if the final product will carry the same unfiltered punch. Some guess the Baldoni reference will be altered or scrapped. Others believe Reynolds might hold on to it until the last minute, testing Disney's patience. For now, official statements are scarce, and the studio seems focused on damage control behind the curtain. It's also possible the joke is small enough that removing it won't doom the film. Deadpool's comedic arsenal includes countless barbs, cameos, and meta gags. One missing piece might not break the movie, but it sets a precedent about what's off limits. If the rest of Deadpool's commentary remains brutally honest, fans might never know there was a controversy. Yet if numerous bits get cut, the film risks feeling sanitized. In the grand scheme, this saga signals a shift. Reynolds is no longer working with the studio content to let him push every button. He's dealing with Disney, a behemoth that prioritizes synergy and brand integrity. Baldoni's presence in their future plans complicates that even more. Will Reynolds and Disney find a balance that preserves Deadpool's wild spirit while respecting new boundaries? Only time will tell if the merc with a mouth can keep jabbing at industry gossip or if he'll be forced to leave certain names off limits, especially the name Baldoni. The entire Deadpool universe stands at a crossroads. On one side, Ryan Reynolds' commitment to savage humor and personal comedic freedom. On the other, Disney's vast empire, determined to safeguard budding relationships with talents like Justin Baldoni and maintain a squeaky clean image. Mix in Blake Lively's high-profile involvement, and you have a Hollywood cocktail strong enough to rattle even the most seasoned insiders. Will Deadpool's next outing remain the raw, self-aware spectacle fans crave, or will Disney insist on a toned-down approach? The outcome hinges on whether Reynolds is willing to bow to corporate demands or risk a standoff that could shape Marvel's future. Regardless of how it ends, this battle over a single joke has grown into a symbolic test of artistic freedom versus corporate caution, one that might redefine Deadpool forever. For now, we watch and wait. Deadpool's next chapter might be the wildest yet, not just on screen but in real life. And if we've learned anything from Ryan Reynolds, it's that he thrives on a good fight, especially one that keeps everyone guessing until the very last laugh.